Welcome back to the memes. Today we're going to prove that Madden is a perfectly balanced game with no exploits. Just kidding. In this video, we're going to be trading from the last pick in the NFL draft all the way up to the first pick in the NFL draft. Let's establish some ground rules. I can only trade and use players/picks that I acquire from the last pick, and the challenge will go on until I quit or if I acquire the first overall pick. Let's begin. For my early trades, I was just trying to take anything I could get. Fortunately, I was able to grab the Jags kicker, Riley Patterson. I was able to send them immediately back to the Jags for their punter Logan Cook, who was a higher overall. I knew I needed a more valuable position to try and acquire a high pick, so I traded Cook to the Jags once again for tight end Dan Arnold. Arnold wasn't as valuable as I was hoping. I got turned away several times by teams, but eventually I got a 6th round pick in return. So just with the Jags alone, we've gone from pick 224 all the way to pick 179 in the 6th round, moving up 45 picks in just 4 trades. Now, of course, we still have a long way to go until we get that number 1 overall pick, so let's keep working. This 6th round pick was actually difficult to move. I think I might have gotten better value for Dan Arnold, to be honest, but this early in the trading, I'm just kind of feeling out the value system of the game to try and build a strategy moving forward. I moved the 6th round pick to the Dolphins for defensive tackle Jay Jenkins. I don't think that was a great move either, as no team seemed to want him. The only trade I could make happen was for Cards kicker Matt Prater, and I also get a 7th round pick on top of it, which feels like we're taking a step back instead of forward, so I gotta switch my strategy altogether. I decided we need to acquire multiple assets, even if they are lower valued, so we can open up our options and see if we can make any teams budge. To do this, I send Matt Prater back to the Cards for their quarterback David Blau. Despite David Blau only being like 57 overall, I was able to find a buyer for him, netting us a 6th round pick. I then send off both the 6th and the 7th round picks we just acquired to the Rams for their 5th round pick. And just so you know what I've been doing so far, before I fully commit to a trade, I like to feel out the market by sending out trades way above my ceiling. Trades that would be ridiculous if they got accepted because it would mean the CPU would be getting fleeced. So I sent out the 5th round pick to countless teams, and clearly they won't accept it for like an 85 plus overall players or something. That would be nuts. But you're not going to believe this one. So I'm not sure what the Saints are smoking, but they accepted a 5th round pick for Jameis Winston. Truly, this was without a doubt the most insane trade of the entire video. Now, I'm not complaining though, as this opens up a whole new world of opportunities for us to explore. And I was hoping to find good value for Winston. Thankfully, there are many teams in need of a quarterback. And we all know the Colts love themselves a mid-tier veteran QB. So they pay up big time with a 2nd round pick. This is crazy though. Pick 224 to pick 42. That's moving up 182 picks in just 10 trades. But we're not done yet. Even though we've built up some confidence, the higher the picks go, the harder it will be for us to trade for them. So we're just getting started, to be honest. Now that we have a 2nd round pick, I try to move back again so we can get multiple assets. I send the 2nd to the Cowboys for the 56th overall pick and a 6th round on top. I then see what player I can get for this range. I keep trying for the high 80s, but no team was budging. Same thing for the mid 80s. It is a bit discouraging. I thought I was fairly close to getting high value players, but it seems we aren't there yet. Best I could find was 82 overall wide receiver Curtis Samuel from the Commanders. And this ended up being a marginal upgrade as we turned Samuel into the 39th overall pick from the Bears. To try and immediately upgrade, I trade for the 2024 1st round pick from the Bucks. It seems future picks in Madden are not nearly as valuable as the current picks. Doesn't matter to me, it feels good to be in the 1st round though, even if it is a 2024 pick. Doing my usual strategy of trading down for multiple assets, I send the 1st rounder off to the Packers, and they send me a 2nd and a 4th. And by this point, I was looking for a quarterback to pick up with that 2nd round pick. Luckily, we found ourselves a buyer with the Rams, picking up Matt Stafford. Even though Matt Stafford is older than Jameis Winston, I assumed with him being a higher overall at 74 would mean that he would net us better picks in return. I wasn't able to get like a 1st round pick, but trading Stafford in a 4th, I was actually able to get some great value. Sending Matt Stafford to the Texans netted us a high 2nd round pick and a 3rd rounder on top of it. From my perspective, that is massive value. With this many assets at our disposal, I was able to trade with the Lions for the last pick of the 1st round in 2023. So that's our first time in the 1st round in this year's draft. I then tried to find higher overall players to get in return. I still can't get anyone in the 90s, of course, but I was able to get Taylor Decker from the Lions. He's an 83 overall left tackle. And to be honest, I think offensive linemen are like sneaky valuable in terms of trading in Madden, because I was able to send off Decker to the Bengals for 1 pick higher in the 1st round, plus another asset, a 4th rounder. Legitimately a steal in my opinion. Knowing that offensive linemen are quality value now, I trade for another one. This time it's 84 overall T. Motton from the Panthers. Motton turns out to be no disappointment as we continue to creep up higher in the 1st round. This time we're at number 25 from the Bills. I'm still trying to trade for those high 80 overall players, but I'm not getting any luck. The best I could find was Hollywood Brown at 84 overall. Very close to that 85 range. What if there's a cutoff at like 85 overall? Like, do the CPUs value those players just like significantly more than 84 overall players? Because the difference between 84 and 85 is just a ridiculous amount. Anyways, I was hoping for more, but surely we can find a team that is needy for a wide receiver. I immediately thought of the Bears and Packers. It seems like the Packers are going to pay up more, and we get ourselves a huge haul. A total of 3 picks. Taking home a 1st round pick, a 3rd round pick, and a 7th round pick. Now that I have a ton of ammunition to use, I'm going to split these assets up and see if I can get something for them individually. First up, we got this 3rd round pick. I was looking for a player out of this pick. Hopefully like a quarterback or an offensive lineman, but it seems like quarterbacks are just a little too expensive. So I settled for a 74 overall right tackle from the Raiders. I was then able to flip that pick from a 2024 pick into a 2023 pick, which is a massive increase in value even if the pick number is the same. I also try to get cheeky with the 7th overall as well. I was trading for kickers across the league to slowly increase the pick quality. And it's hilarious like how easy it seems to exploit the game like this, as doing this method just a handful of times ended up netting us a 6th round pick from the Bills. So now at this point, I have a 1st, a 3rd, and a 6th. And I'm trying my best to upgrade this 3rd and 6th round picks. But I'm really struggling. I thought I could surely get someone in the high 70s or something, but no luck. I ended up settling for 75 overall right guard Trey Turner from the Commanders. Despite my disappointment with the value, I was impressed that I was able to send Turner off to the Colts in this next trade for Mr. Matt Ryan. Even though he is old, I am confident that there's a team out there that will pay a big for a quarterback at 73 overall. I was let down immediately. Like, I significantly overestimated Matt Ryan's price. Like, even Jameis Winston was more valuable due to his youth. Best I could find for Matt Ryan was like a 3rd round pick. Although it is 30 picks higher than the 3rd round we just had, so it's essentially like right on the edge of a 2nd round pick. Now at my disposal, I have a late 1st and an early 3rd round pick. I'm ready to make some big moves. I send off dozens of trades for them all to be denied time and time again. I can't seem to get like 90 plus overall players even at this stage, which is a little disappointing. I'm a little frustrated, so I try to get some quarterbacks. All the quarterbacks we have purchased so far have been like in the low 70s. So we need a quarterback in a sweet spot. We need a quarterback that isn't too young and he isn't too old, and his overall needs to be at least 80 overall. So that leaves one man in my mind.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
Mr. Geno Smith of the Seattle Seahawks. Thanks to Geno's career revival, there are plenty of teams that will pay up for his services. Now earlier, the Winston trade was a big move for us, so I'm hopeful this Geno trade will have a similar effect. But shockingly, I was able to find a deal that even blew me away. I was expecting to get maybe like pick 12 or 15 in the 1st round, but no. The Panthers threw the 6th overall pick at us. Truly an insane skyrocketing move for us. We are now 5 picks away from this being mission accomplished. Very exciting, but one pick alone isn't going to get this deal done. So now my strategy is to try to find a high overall player in a position that the Jags need as they hold the number 1 overall pick in this simulation. And I'm going to gamble on a pass rusher because they need a left end. So I grabbed 90 overall defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence from the Cowboys. Lawrence turns out to be nowhere near as valuable as I was expecting him to be. And to be honest, I think trading for him was actually setting us back a tad. But that's all right. I was able to get 3 assets for him in return. Send him off to the Lions for a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd. I was quickly able to turn that 2nd and 3rd round pick into another 1st round pick that is actually even higher than our previous one. So now with picks 21 and 32 in the 1st round, I send it off to the Jags to see if they will bite, but still not enough for the 1st overall pick. Like I mentioned earlier, I think we're going to need a player of high value to get the deal done. So I do some backtracking and trade for Matt Stafford once again. The reason I did this is because now that the Seahawks moved on from Geno Smith, they have a huge need for quarterback. So I offer up Matt Stafford and they pay up big time, sending us the 28th overall pick. Even more value than we got for Stafford earlier on in the video. Now we have picked 21 and 28, but clearly it still isn't enough to close the deal. So now it's time to chase a higher overall player. And it appears the Jags need a left guard. So I search around the league to see if I can find a good candidate to fill that position. Thankfully, the Browns are willing to part ways with 92 overall Joel Bitonio for that 21st overall pick that we got from the Patriots. Now we are loaded. We got ourselves a solid 1st round pick and a 92 overall overall player in a position that the Jags need. It's time to take another stab at the big time, and there it is. We traded for the first overall pick. Mission accomplished. Took me a total of 45 picks to get the deal done, but we did what we set out to do, starting from the last pick in the NFL draft, and we moved up to the #1 pick essentially for free. So yes, Madden is a perfectly balanced game with no exploits. Said no one ever. Just for fun, I drafted the player at #1 overall, and it was this quarterback named Josh Balls, who looked absolutely spectacular. If you want me to try another challenge in any sports game, let me know in the comments below. I love doing like random challenges and playing random games. Anyways, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. You're all legends in my book, and as for me, I am Drew Morris, big old Drewski, not the expert. And I'll see all you guys in my next video. Peace.
Thank you to Patreon supporters Alex Mohar, Christian Tig, Jack Webb, Anthony Uaz, Matt Woodruff, Timbo Slice, Casey Knox, Demondre Hunter Martin, and Rosalie Jarecki.